What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to Baldman Reacts. Getting into both versions of Zan today. Going into Gauze. I haven't done a lot from early Dir En Grey. I'm certainly going to fix that. And Gauze will be the next full album that I do. I do want to get back, strap that Wayback Machine on, and get into the early side of Dir En Grey sound. So, I know this is slightly controversial. I know some people really like the original. I know a lot of people prefer the heavier version. I'm looking forward to hearing both. And as I've said before, I really love doing these both versions videos of Dir En Grey. It's mainly been Dir En Grey, but I do want to start getting to other bands that have different versions of the same track. So anyway, we're doing Dir En Grey, we're doing Zan. I have read the lyrics, I do have them up in a separate window. Let's get into it. Here we go. Like the breath effects, building that tension, the different atmospheres and textures here. I like how the music is slowly fading in. Driving drum cadence. Video, like most Dir En Grey videos, is certainly disturbing. I know it's designed to be, especially to run with these lyrics. I like these riffs. They have kind of a thrashy feel. Cool. I like that punk-like vibe here. Chaos in the vocals. Really cool electronic textures and elements. The chaos really fits with these lyrics. Really like that kind of poppy edge to the vocals in some ways. Those pig squeals really work as well. I really like those electronic elements. Definitely tell this is earlier in their career, as they're not tuning nearly as low. This sounds like it's the standard. Love the chaos, the solo. Shinji just bashing away in his pretty typical beat for him. I like that gang vocal. I like that punk-like atmosphere and vibe to this. It's got more of that attitude. really like those riffs there, that counterpoint going on. Really do dig that punkish, more alternative, slightly industrial vibe there from some of the heavier stuff. Being tuned to standard, you get more of a thrashier edge in some of those riffs than you would if you were tuning down low. Tuning definitely has an impact on the sound. And video is crazy, like most Dir En Grey videos are. That was a lot of fun. I mean, for the lyrics being so incredibly powerful and so written about such a tough topic, it's a really fun song. It's a really enjoyable track, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. I'm really looking forward to diving more into that side of Dir En Grey. You know, when you first start doing DEG, a lot of the people, they want that shock out of you. They want to hit you with different sounds. They want to hit you with obscure. They want to go, let's play a joke and give this guy something chaotic. And certainly past that point, really starting to enjoy the band for what they are, and having done so many of their tracks now, 2 full records, and on top of all the different tracks I've done, probably looking at 60 plus tracks. Correct me if I'm wrong. Might even be more than that with all the different versions. But I'm starting to enjoy the earlier side of them. The pop punk, the alternative, the industrial elements. Really, really like what they were doing before they went down and started really crawling into that new metal territory and pulling out the extended range guitars using the 7 strings and pulling more of the Korn-like elements and the heavier stuff in. So I'm going to be curious to hear what the remake sounds like. I know it's supposed to be a bit heavier. So let's get into it. This is the remake, the new version of Zan, and the performance video they put in for it. And here we go. And it's already a completely different feel. It's heavier, they're tuned a whole lot lower. It's mixed differently. Bass is definitely more forward. Certainly those lower tones, quite a bit more gain. Toshia really helps drive this sound quite a bit more. Definitely has more of a feel from what they were doing with DSS. Especially vocally. There's deeper death metal-like growls. I like the grooves here. Those are pleasant. But I gotta be honest, I kind of feel like it loses a lot of what I enjoyed about the first version. I like this. Definitely see how they changed their sound. The cleans here are very sparkly. You don't get the electronics nearly as prevalent. Do get more of that In Flames feel here. the way they're harmonizing those riffs. Much more clear and better produced mixed version here. You know, I like these grooves, but now that they've changed to that down to heavier approach, it's a little more generic. Do you like the vocals he's using here? Oh, right. That was the remake of Zan by Dir En Grey. And to be quite honest, I don't like it as much as the original. Now, it's very familiar from, you certainly get that DSS era sound, get a bit more of that melodic, that Swedish melodic death metal influence, the harmonized riffing, those down-tuned grooves that you get a lot of on DSS. And the track sounds more straightforward than it did in the original. You miss all those different textures. I miss the industrial elements. I miss those very punk-like textures. I miss some of the playfulness and the poppy edge that it had, with the original version. And I imagine if I would have heard it back when it first came out in the late 90s, even more so, it really sets itself apart from other stuff. You listen to the newer version, and it's a bit more generic. You've heard a lot of that before, especially if you're a fan of more of the Western rock and Western metal. So they brought in those down-tuned elements and the extended range guitars, and I feel like it just loses so much of what made me enjoy the first track a lot, as opposed to it. It's heavier, but as I've said before, there's plenty of bands out there doing heavy really, really well. The original, you don't have a lot of bands doing what they were doing when they were doing on that track, especially when they were doing it. It was chaotic and awesome and full of these different twists, and I really like the punk elements to it, and I love how it feels more playful. Now, I think suiting the lyrics, I think the remake certainly feels darker and more nasty, and it suits the lyrics a little better. But at the same time, I like the contrast in the first version. I like the fact that the music doesn't fit the lyrics, so it's that contrast between how crazy the lyrics are. Well, I mean, it's crazy, and it's chaotic, and I think that kind of makes it work. But you wouldn't necessarily think that music like that are going to go with the lyrics that they wrote. you'd expect more of what you get in the second version, that heavier, more focus-driven approach. I feel like, honestly, it's a little overproduced for a Dir En Grey track, which is kind of surprising to say. And it just loses that chaos and that madness that I'm coming to enjoy from a lot of the heavier Dir En Grey tracks. So overall, I definitely prefer the original to the new version. You know, I really do. And it's kind of surprising. I think I'm really going to like Gauze. I really do. I think the more I hear from it, the more I hear from that earlier era, it's just very different. And I'm looking forward to getting to it. Hopefully, it's the beginning of June when I shoot this, so hopefully by the end of June we will get into Gauze. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are as well. Hope you stick around for that when I get to it. Thank you all. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you to my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders for what you do every single day. I love you and I appreciate you. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Bald Man. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other and keep that thing.